Welcome back, PEZ collectors. Today's video is going to be all about Mr. Ugly PEZ dispensers. Now, since Halloween is right around the corner, I thought Mr. Ugly PEZ would be perfect to talk about in this variation Mr. Ugly PEZ collecting guide video, because there are a lot of variations here in front of me. There's no foot ones, there's ones with feet, there's lots of colors, there's some really cool USA stem ones that we're going to be talking about as well that are a little bit harder to find, and I have some Mr. Uglies in packages. So I have some Cellos, some Polys, and a card. So I can't wait to share all these Mr. Ugly PEZ with you in this video. So let's get started. But before we do get started, I would like to mention that I will have timestamps down below in the description. Like all my videos, I always put timestamps in them, but it will make it easier for you to use this video as a PEZ collecting guide down the road. And also towards the end of the video, I will do a whole shot of all the Mr. Uglies so you can see them all side by side. I think that really helps, like when you're at home and trying to figure out, you know, what ones you have in your collection, or if you're shopping online trying to figure out what ones you need to buy. I think that'll be really helpful. And I also wanted to mention that I am going from light face to dark face, and then I'm throwing in the USA stems at the end because those are the more unique, rare ones, and I wanted to keep those on their own. I think it'll make sense once you see those. I also wanted to mention that when I was doing the research for this video, like I always do for all my videos, a lot of times I consult the John LaSpina price guide. This has been around for a long time. He updates it every year. But in here, there's a huge list of Mr. Ugly PEZ, and there's 8 different color variations that he says that Mr. Ugly can have. But I did also consult with a couple other Mr. Ugly PEZ collectors, people who really focus on Mr. Ugly. So I'm pretty sure I have all the colors correct in here. So hopefully this video will be a really good color variation guide for you, because it's really hard to find PEZ guides with pictures, and then especially like of a whole series of PEZ altogether. Hopefully this video is really helpful for that reason. I know I struggle with that a lot with collecting PEZ, so I know other people out there will probably find this video really helpful. But we're going to start off with Mr. Uglies with Aqua faces. This is the first one here I want to share with you. It has the black hair. All the Mr. Uglies have black hair, and then the face colors change. So that's why I'm not saying head colors in this video. This one's on a really nice yellow stem. It's a 2.6 made in Austria stem, and I cannot see an IMC up here above the P. So this one has no IMC. But I love the color of this head and the stem. It looks really nice. The next Mr. Ugly PEZ I want to share with you is this one on the orange stem, and this also falls under the Aqua face category. But you can tell just side by side here that the orange one has a little bit more of a green aqua face. So some people call this Mr. Ugly on this yellow stem. It could be a mint face as well, but I would still put it under the aqua category. But here's the one on the orange stem by itself. It still has a really nice aqua face. It does look a little darker than that first one I shared with you. And it has this really cool orange stem. It's not a USA orange, but it reminds me of that. This one is on a 3.4 made in Austria stem with the IMC of 2. This one looks a little dirty. I think I need to clean this one. Then the last one I have here in my collection with the aqua face is in Cello. And this is a really rare PEZ. Should I open it? Technically, this should be in the Made in USA PEZ stem category, but I'm going by face colors, like I said. This one fits into the aqua face category, but it's on a blue USA stem. Has wild cherry and grape PEZ candy in it, and the insert there is one of the PEZ paper costumes. But this PEZ is a really rare one, especially since it's still in the Cello. I did also reference this book. If you don't have this book and you want to collect the vintage PEZ that come on USA stems, you're going to want to pick up this book. It's not real thick. It's easy to flip through and find your USA PEZ stems. And in this book, this PEZ dispenser is in the back here. I'm not showing everything. I'm just going to show that it's in here. So it's in here under PEZ Oddities. This is a really rare find. It has the aqua face, the blue USA stem, and it's still in the Cello, so you know it's a legit, you know, color combination. Because usually the USA stems, they usually have a different green color face, which you'll see here in a few minutes as we get to the USA stems. But this is a really fun, I think, Mr. Ugly that we have in our collection. Probably the most rare one. So in my PEZ collection, I have 3 aqua face Mr. Ugly PEZ dispensers, which I think is really fun, and I like this color a lot. I mean, as you can see, it's on my t-shirt as well. This one here. But talking about like this PEZ being super rare, This next one is also one of the other like most rare ones in the collection in here as well, which is this one. And this face color is called Avocado. And it's on a 3.9 made in Austria stem with an 8 IMC. But the face color on this one is really rare. I will show you a side by side here at the end because I'm not really sure what one to compare it to right now. Or maybe I can even compare it to the next one here as well. I think that might help as well. But let me show you that one first. And for prices, I do want to mention that most of these Mr. Ugly PEZ will run you probably from like $50 to $90. Some of them are more expensive. Like, I don't even know how to price this one. This one's like super duper rare. And then this one, I think we paid about $300 for it. So that'll give you an idea of, you know, price values. And I will share some other prices with you as I keep showing the Mr. Ugly PEZ. There's Aqua, there's Avocado, and then there's green faces. And this one I want to start off, I would say this is a bright green face. There you go. You can see the green color of its face. I really like the green on this one a lot, especially with that blue stem. But there's the Avocado versus the bright green. See how different they are? This bright green face Mr. Ugly is on a 3.4 made in Austria stem. It does have a dual IMC of 4 and a 5. So that's this one. And then I also have this one in my collection, and this one has a dual IMC of 4 and an 8. They look really similar. The stems are slightly different, like blue, ever so slightly. I mean, these look really identical for being different IMCs. Very, very, very similar. Just like all the Mr. Uglies. So I think that's kind of fun that we have two with the dual IMCs. If you like to collect that kind of thing. Some people really get into that. Other people are like, I only need one. So collect how you want. Then there's also a light green Mr. Ugly face, and I do not have one of those in my collection. But here's a picture here on the screen of what a light green Mr. Ugly face looks like. Hopefully you can tell the color difference because this is not in my collection. But I thought sharing the picture with you is a lot better than not sharing the picture with you. Maybe someday I'll get a light green Mr. Ugly for the collection. The next Mr. Ugly PEZ I want to share with you is in this Cello, and I'm pretty sure that this is a medium green face one. I have gone back and forth trying to figure out if this is just a dark olive green one, but when I take it out of the box, I have to be real careful with it because the Cello on this one's kind of brittle. It's just getting old. The face on this one has a little bit lighter green color to it than I think the dark olive. And I'll show you a side by side with the dark olive here in a second, but this one's really cool. It has these really cool PEZ candy packs in it. I think these are Canadian PEZ candy packs. And it has a sun tattoo insert. I don't like touching this thing. I don't want it to fall apart. But let me show you real quick. This is a good picture. I might have to take another one, but there's these two Mr. Uglies side by side. And can you tell the one on the red stem is just like slightly like lighter green than this one? So that's why I'm leaning more towards this one here, having a medium color face. And I know I've seen these in other people's collections on a red stem as well, so pretty confident that you would call this one a medium Mr. Ugly green face. I think just the fact that it's in the Cello makes it a little tricky, especially the different lights. But it looks lighter to me. So I'm going to go with that for now. If you have a medium colored Mr. Ugly PEZ in your collection that you're like 100% know for sure, you know, feel free to send me some pictures or comment down below and let me know. We're still in that green Mr. Ugly face category. This is a dark olive green face. The face is getting a lot darker green, but this one's on a really nice blue stem. It is a 3.9 made in Austria stem. This one has an IMC of 8. This to me is like the most iconic Mr. Ugly PEZ that exist. Like whenever I think of Mr. Ugly, I think of this dark olive green head and then a blue stem, usually with no feet. So this Mr. Ugly PEZ might be the easiest for you to find. I also have this one in quite a few package variations as well. This one's in the Cello. It's pretty cool. It has the fruit candy packs in there instead of just like the star ones that you saw earlier. And then this one has the special bonus offer insert on the inside, which I think this is really cool. This is probably the easiest Cello to find out of all the ones I'm sharing with you today. I also have that same Mr. Ugly PEZ in this Polybag. And these are pretty easy to find too. It has no feet. You can squeeze the bottom of your Polybag there where the stem is and you can feel that there's no feet. Sometimes it's hard to see in there. So this is a fun variation to collect because these are pretty inexpensive and easier to find. If you like to collect package variations. I mean, can't you tell I do? And then this is probably my favorite Mr. Ugly in the collection because it's on this pumpkin card. It has no feet. I mean, that's so cool. And this card is super mint. I mean, the bubble, there's no dents. And in the back there, it has the Peter PEZ graphic on it, and it says, "A treat to eat and a puppet that's neat." So not much going on the back, just the black and white back on this. But I do like the pumpkin card a lot. These carded PEZ, they do come up for sale quite often. The fact that this one is super mint, I think it's really nice. But you can find these, I think, easier than you think if you want to collect some really cool vintage PEZ on cards. PEZ started making these Mr. Ugly PEZ back in 1970, but we know since this one has thin feet that they kept making them up until the end of the 1980s, maybe even the early 1990s, but it does have thin feet there, and this is also a dark olive face. Really nice. This one here is on a 3.9 made in Austria stem with an IMC of 8. And I do not have one of these in my collection, but the other known footed PEZ, thin feet Mr. Ugly PEZ, is one on the green stem, and it is also the same dark olive colored head. I have a picture here. You can use this as a reference if you want. So if you want to collect both the thin foot Mr. Ugly PEZ variations, you're going to want to pick up that red one. I think maybe I should add that to my collection. I don't know. I might need it. But the Mr. Ugly on the blue stem with the feet, that's the easiest one to find. The red one's going to be a little bit harder to find. So if you're following along, we have Aqua, we have green, and now we have Chartreuse, which is like this light green color. It's kind of ugly. It fits perfectly with Mr. Ugly. So this one has the Chartreuse face. Some people do call this yellow lime green face. At least that's what Laspina calls it in his book. This one is really cool. It's on a 3.4 made in Austria stem. This one has an IMC of 2. And this is a legit combination because, but what makes this Austria one unique is that it has the same head color as the ones with the USA stems. This one is a blue USA stem. Can you tell in the light there that the blue USA stem here is just a little bit more vibrant? The USA PEZ stems, in my opinion, are a lot prettier colors. They're more vibrant, more saturated. I like collecting them, but they are a lot harder to find. But this one's really cool because it's the made in Austria stem with the same head color. They both have that Chartreuse. They both have that same, oh my gosh, who named it Chartreuse? They both have that same Chartreuse face color, which I think is really interesting. So here you go. This is a Chartreuse face with the blue USA stem. This is the first USA stem I'm sharing with you besides this one that was in the Cello. Same blue stem, different face color, which I'll show you here side by side here in a second. But there you go. Now you can see the face color difference. I should just show you. I'll show you this one that's already out of the package. That's the difference in the face colors, which I think is crazy that we even have this in the collection. That's pretty cool. This is a Chartreuse USA blue stem. It's a 3.8 USA blue stem with an IMC of 9. So we have this USA stem, this USA stem. There we go. We do have 2 blue USA stems, and I'm looking at them, trying to see if there's any differences. The one has a little bit darker red mouth, a little bit more paint in there, it looks like. But that's probably just due to the fact that someone hand painted these a long time ago. We also have this Chartreuse USA stem. This is an orange one this time. There you go, it matches my nails. These should all have IMCs of 9 for the USA stems. There's also Mr. Ugly with the USA black stem. So that's fun, has the Chartreuse face. And one more, the Chartreuse face on the Lavender USA stem, which is probably the hardest one to find here for the USA stems. Ours is not minty. I shouldn't show you the behind the scenes. There's no buttons, so the spring is out, which I think we have some extra USA buttons here, so I could fix that, but there is no kicker here on the back of its head. So eventually I would like to find a nicer lavender Mr. Ugly PEZ, but for now, I mean, it displays nicely. You would never know until you picked it up and tilt the head back and you're like, there's a spring sticking out. But it looks great here on the shelf. That's how hard it is to find. It's hard to find one of these, especially in nice condition. So there's blue, orange, black, and this lavender. There's also yellow and green Mr. Uglies on the USA stems. We do not have those in the collection. I've never seen them for sale, I don't think. But maybe next time we're shopping for some Mr. Ugly PEZ, maybe we'll come across them. Those would be cool to add to the collection, but this is a good amount of Mr. Ugly PEZ, at least for now. But maybe by next Halloween I'll have a couple more to share with you. That'd be a lot of fun. Do you have any Mr. Ugly PEZ in your collection that I did not share with you today? Let me know in the comments. Feel free to send me some pictures. I'm Erin Collects PEZ over on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. You can send me pictures of, you know, Mr. Uglies that you don't have. Or maybe even just send me pictures of your Mr. Ugly collection. I'd like to see that. I always think it's really fun to collect the holiday PEZ, especially if you like vintage PEZ, because usually you can find them fairly easy. I mean, except for like the USA stems or some of the packages. A little bit harder to find, but the more common ones, they're out there. Like, you'll find them pretty easily if you start looking. I guess this is the part of the video where I put in the screenshot of all these lined up so you can see the head colors side by side. Like I said, we'll go from aqua to green to darker green to the Chartreuse of the USA stems, and then the one Austria stem. These are really cool. I wanted to make this video last Halloween, but I didn't get to it, so I'm so glad I thought of making it before this Halloween comes around. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, feel free to share it with other PEZ collectors. You know, maybe there's other PEZ collectors you know that might want to learn more about Mr. Ugly PEZ. Feel free to share it. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in my next video Thursday. Bye!